So if you guys remember, a while back I did an Owl House Aliens crossover. So it only makes sense that the next logical step would be a Owl House Predator crossover, right? It, like, it makes the most, like, it was just the logical step. So this story kind of takes two parts. Like, this is kind of a two-part kind of story. So our first half, the origins of this, is Ida, right after she's stolen Stan's car, right after their crazy Vegas wedding, and she's drove off with all of his stuff. And what has happened is that about that time, the curse showed up, so she's now running around the deserts of Vegas as the owl beast. Now, at that same time, a predator had arrived in the desert outskirts of Vegas and was out hunting, and then encountered the owl beast. The predator tried to kill Ida in her monster form, but what happened was Ida managed to slash the predator, like knock his mask off, and slash the predator down the face and blind him in one eye before escaping. Eventually, though, she was managed to be saved, and the king managed to find her and get her elixir give her the elixir, and then they both escape back to the Boiling Isles. However, the predator didn't forget her. In no way, shape, or form did the predator even forget what had happened. So the predator who had hunted Ida essentially went, you know what? I'm going to wait for this, but I will one day have the Owl Lady's skull on my wall. Like that, the predator more or less made that vow of, I'm going to I'm going to take the Owl Lady as a trophy. So years roll by, and the predator has found a way into the Boiling Isles through the Titan Bleed. The predator had basically been going around following, kind of like if you guys don't know this story, it's a alien predator and Prometheus story called Fire and Stone. It's probably one of my favorite comics ever. It was this massive alien predator and Prometheus event that in one of those stories, a predator was hunting an engineer, and it actually led to a really awesome fight. But basically what that predator elder did was follow clues and whatnot, and that's what this predator does, is that it finds a way to find the Titan Bleed and go into the Boiling Isles, where the predator's the predator's cloaking device doesn't work, and he's trying to it malfunctions during the cross into the Boiling Isles, and as he's trying to get it to work, people are passing by, and he's like, okay. So the predator can just hide in plain sight now, but it does eventually find its way to the Owl House, where it encounters, of course, who else but Hootie, and Hootie kicks the shit out of him. By this point, it's been a few years, so now Luz is here. We have Luz is here. She's with Amity, all of that good stuff. But the predator is not here for the kids. It's here for Ida, and it's going to go through anyone who tries to get in his way. So the predator, essentially what it does is draw Ida out. How? It kidnaps King and Luz. That's the thing, is that it uses them as bait, kind of like what Lilith did, and kidnaps them. But the thing is, this is a point where we're in season 2. Ida may have lost her magic, but she's got her harpy form now. And when she sees the predator, she's like, seriously, it's you? Oh, I should have killed you. So the Predator, of course, is like confused because when it sees Ida in her harpy form, he's like, okay, still gonna claim your skull though. So the two fight, and that's when the Predator unleashes a new kind of tactic on it. See, the Predator wasn't just going around the world looking for clues to find a way to get into the Boiling Isles. No, it was doing something else. It was there was another reason why it was going around the world in going around the planet, and even in other planets, it was learning how to use its own to harness magic. So this Predator essentially became a shaman. This Predator became a shaman, and like I said, this is a point where Ida doesn't have her magic anymore. So Ida is now battling a hunter who is now known magic. The other thing is too is that the Predator has learned a technique where every time it kills a magic user, it gains the power. It doubles its own magic. So it actually, like, I wanted to have this scene where the Predator is like hunting the Emperor, like several members of the Emperor's guards. Like he's just he's just stalking them and whatnot. And every time he kills one, he like gains more of their magic. Like just Shang Tsung's their magic, and he's just like, right on. So by this point, he's even more powerful than he was before, and he is ready to kick some ass. He is just ready to take down Ida. It's at this point that just before the Predator could get the killing blow in, Lilith shows up. Lilith comes in with the rescue with Hootie on her back. So the combined Lilith-Hootie team up drives the Predator out and forces him to go back into hiding. And at this point, Ida is like, no, we can't, he's just going to keep coming back and again and again and again until he kills me or I kill him. So it's personal now that he's kidnapped he kidnapped and threatened my kids. So he's made it personal. I am going to tear his ass a new one, and that's exactly what happens. That is exactly what happens in that regard. Ida goes full Schwarzenegger and tracks down the Predator, puts up a bunch of traps, and faces the Predator on the Titan's knee, where great witch duels were conducted. So the two fight. The Predator uses its new magic. Ida unleashes everything she has in her harpy form, and the two duel it out until Ida manages to finally kill the Predator. And in doing so, as the Predator's dying, it tries to use like its suicide explosion, but what happens is Ida's like, nope, I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. So she rips it off his arm and just throws it off in the air, and it explodes. And she's like, oh, glad I did that. So now the Predator is unable to kill himself the old explosion way. So he more or less just takes out a sword and just commits seppuku. And as he's dying, he gives the sword to hands the sword to Ida to be like, here, you take it. Ida takes it and immediately pawns it off for money. She's like, man, this is a great treasure. It is a mark of a warrior, and it's satisfying to be honored in such a way. I'm pawning this off for booze money. That's it, because we all know Ida would do that. We all know Ida would totally pawn off an ancient Predator weapon for drinking money. That's exactly what she'd do. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Predator Owl House crossover. I know I'd kind of mess with continuity a bit of having King save Ida in their Owl Beast form earlier in the story. It's kind of messing with continuity a bit. I apologize. It was the only way I could get it to work. So I don't normally like to do that, but I was like, oh wait, I kind of told the story in a wrong way, so let me try to dig my way out. So yeah. I'll make that exception for once. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this Owl House versus Predator crossover? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.